Hello my quilting family. We're back on another journey for the pineapple blocks. Now I promised you I would try and do like 45 degree and a hexagon. Well, today we're going to do the 45 degree diamond. And we're going to do the hexagon next week. So hopefully you will come and join me at the cutting table and I'll show how you get them started. Okay, I'm going to show you how to cut a 45 degree diamond. Now, on my ruler, I have a 45 degree line, and I'm just going to line that up with the very edge of the ruler. And now I'm going to hold my ruler down. I'm going to cut that first line. Those triangles will be saved. And now, because this is a 3.5 inch, I'm going to put my line on the 3.5 here. So I get, I should move it up so I can get that point too. So I'm going to just get two, this is folded over, so I'm getting two at a time. But I'm wanting this 3.5 by 3.5 on a 45 degree angle. So here we go like this. And now we're going to open this up because there's no way I can make a 45 degree angle with it being flattened. So again, we're going to line this up on the 3.5 line. And we're checking all of this. Yes, it looks good. It still looks great. And this goes back into my scrap pile along with these. And now I have 3 really cool 45 degree diamonds. So now we're back at the sewing machine and with our diamonds and our little strips. Now I'm going to show you how to do this with a 1.5, 2 inch, and 2.5. But you don't, I mean, basically we're just gonna show you how to sew the first ones. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure I've got a good 1/4 inch or to 1/2 inch on all sides, right, on both sides, right? Because we're gonna have to trim these. Now let me just get this through. Get the next one on, and you can just roughly trim these at your sewing machine if you need to. There's, you know, because you're going to trim them up perfectly, and it doesn't matter which side goes on first or, you know, anything like that. There we go. Okay, this has to be the oldest fabric I own. But we're using it up and getting it moved along so into a quilt so that it can be loved. That's the thing about scrappy quilts, and this is why pineapples are such great scrap busters. Okay. Here. Okay, you've probably got the idea of how to do this, so I'll meet you back at the cutting table once I'm done sewing on the first round. Okay? Okay, we're finished going around these 45 degree diamonds. One of the things, when I'm sewing these on, I'm trying to sew them on from behind. Now, when I'm trimming, here, I'll just move this one out of the way. When I'm trimming, I really need to make this point. This is where everything magic is going to happen on your block. These points are not the same point, of course, because it's a diamond, right? So these points, we have to sit there and look at them a little different. Now, I'm going to trim off the edge, these ends first. Now what I do is I lay my block this way. I make sure my 3-inch line, or my 3-inch line on my ruler, goes through not only this point here, but this point over here as well. And I want to make sure I'm going to leave a perfect 1/4 inch. So I'm going to line the crosshairs on the 3-inch line and the 1/4 inch. And now I'm going to trim. And I'll do the same to the other side. Now all of these get trimmed pretty much the same way now. And this is how you keep your points lined up and they don't go off in a curve or something like this, is you take another reference point and then you do your trimming. Now, the other thing is when I'm going now across here, I'm going to do the 3-inch line again and put that quarter-inch line right in the crosshairs of where this line and this line intersect. And I want that 3-inch line to run perfectly through the center over here. Now I trim. It doesn't matter if you use a different line, but I mean, as long as you're consistent with what you're doing, like if you wanted to, there. Okay. So I'm going to trim all of these up the same, right? Just like this. And we're going to use that those intersections. And it's very important that you understand that. Now, when we're sewing on the second round like I've chosen to sew them on in a neutral, a light neutral, I'm going to be sewing them with the white on the bottom and this on top so I can see where I need to put my stitches, right? Because I want that perfect intersection, because that's what makes your block look really crisp, is when you're not cutting off your points. There we go. And I need to turn this a bit because, okay, so I've got here and here, right across. Okay, so I'm going to put that 1/4 inch right there, and yep, it's right there. It's coming together good. They never look like anything until you trim them. The other thing with this too, I'm making mine square because that's what the guild wants, is square blocks. If you wanted to make a 45-degree diamond quilt, this would be perfect because you would do all your blocks the same, and then you would just add your triangles onto the block once it was big enough. Once your work is big enough, there it is. Lining them up, perfect. And, okay, so there we go. But yeah, at some point you could just add like triangles to the edge, like a 45-degree triangle, and have a diamond-shaped block. Is that? Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so I'll meet you back here once I get all the white around the block to show you how to trim this next row. Okay, like you're not, because I'm just going to put white along both sides and this way. Okay, so I'll meet you back here once I've finished doing that. Okay, we finished sewing around the light neutral. Like I say, you could do these as a log cabin, or you can put them like with colors of black. It's whatever choice you want. Or you can do just a, have a couple of colors in your palette. I'm doing them scrappy. So what I'm going to show you now is I have sewn from the back. So when I was putting on this piece was under the foot of the machine like this. So I made that, let's see if I can't get you. See where that intersects? It's perfect, right? Because I can see where I'm going, and I actually could steer the fabric if I had to, right? If I cut it a little short or cut it a little long. So anyway, so now we're going to trim these up. Now, when you're doing the 1.5 inch, you take your sewn line right here, and you put the 1 inch on it, and then you trim off the excess, just like this. Very quick, very simple to do. 1 inch on the sewn line. If you were to use this edge line, your blocks would eventually get very distorted very quickly. But if you're on the sewn line, they don't seem to do that as badly. Okay. And the other thing too, these blocks, because they're all biased edges now, right? As soon as you trim them, they're a bias edge. The only thing that's not biased is the very tips of your triangles. So if you wanted to, let's say, make this into a diamond quilt, this is where you would add on those triangles, right? And as this grows out, you might have to add triangles on this way too, right? So again, with the 2-inch, you want to line up on your sewn line the 1.5 inch. They're just like the 60-degree triangles that we did the other day, and the square center ones. And there we go. We're just lining all that up. They'll look great. They will absolutely look great when they're done. Now, okay. And you get bigger diamonds quicker. You get bigger diamonds quicker the larger strip you use. So, I mean, this is all up to you. On the 2.5 inch strips, you measure out 2 inches. Now, you're going to miss your point here, because when I cut here, I'll show you, I don't have a 1/4 inch seam. So if you don't have a 1/4 inch seam, that's where you need to line up and just adjust that first or second round. And you're going to need to know how to do that when we hit the hexagons. So you want to hit that round, and you want to hit it right at the 1/4. So you're just going to pull it in just a bit, just so your points can match up when you sew on the next round of color. Oh, we'll just line this up here, 1/4 inch. Yes, there we go. Sometimes you have to make little adjustments, and it's all fine. Remember, these are a great scrap buster, and you know, they help deplete your mount scrap more. So here we are. So there's our 3. Now, I have sewn these ahead so that I know what they're going to look like. So I'm going to just show you these, and we're going to help you square them up. I'm going to finish these, by the way, and donate these to the charity. So I'm going to change our rulers, and this is what this block looks like in the 1.5 inch. Isn't that gorgeous? And it is going to be 12.5 inches square by the time I finish it up. And I just had to use, because our guild wants some square, we have to kind of go with square instead of a triangle. So basically it will fit in a 1/4 inch. So let's get this. Line it up. Now I want my 45-degree line is right here, but I want that to hit right dead center with the 6 1/4. So I'm going to try and line this up here, and from here to here. And that's going to give me a perfect line. Like, see, I don't have to cut too much off of this either. I hope you can see all that. And I have a beautiful 12.5 inch square. And ooh, just trimming just itty bits off. Okay. Oops, missed it. Okay. And remember, again, you could have just instead of doing a square, you could have just done a diamond. So that's what this one looks like. The 2 inch and the 2.5 inch are also, I'm going to line them up because you have to kind of hit this center here, otherwise the block looks off. So it's 6 1/4 and 6 1/4. I'll just move it over just a smidge. 6 1/4 and 6 1/4. And I got 6 1/4 there. Almost there. Almost perfect. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, these would be pretty blocks. They'll make up a nice little. So now I'm going to use the 12.5 inch lines. And yes. Now, The other thing too, when you're doing a bias, and there's a lot of bias on the edges of these blocks, you can either do stay stitching, which helps secure the bias edge. And what I mean by stay stitching is you just go like 1/8 across this line here, and you catch all the biases here and down through here, right? And that will prevent your block from stretching too much. Now here's the one. I really like this block. This is a 2.5 inch strips, and again, the same thing. You're lining up and making it just work. 6 1/4, 6 1/4. There, 6 1/4. There we go. Okay. Here. Yeah, these are quite pretty little blocks, and they're very unusual. Even if you wanted to do a quilt with just these, you know, like squared, you know, the pineapple then would take on a different appearance than the traditional pineapple. But this is it. This is how quick they go together and how cute they are. So I really hope that you're going to try this. But let's get right back to the sewing machine and say goodbye. And we're done with these. Aren't these cute? Aren't these adorable? Would you like to try them? I hope you do. They were so much fun to sew up for this episode, and I really had a good time. And I did manage to bust quite a few little scraps kicking around here. So I do hope you give this a try. And I'll put a link to our guild and our charity below in the show notes, so you can check out stuff. And I've also put all the cutting instructions and whatnot for this block, this 45-degree diamond. If you wanted to make a 60-degree diamond, pretty much the same kind of rules would apply. So I really do hope you give this a try. Bye, we'll see you. Have a great day. If you have questions about what you saw in this video, or you have ideas for content or something you want to see us do, please put those comments in the description below. But also, while you're there, like, share, and subscribe with your friends. That would really help us out. Okay, I want to thank you and have a great day.